So I thought it would be wise to give a bit of context to Barbara and Skater Boy. So I thought I'd set them a bit in some other of my art. You saw a little of my art there. So I suppose everything really has to go back to Lao Tzu, you know? Lao Tzu, there's many people who translate Lao Tzu. Many people try and translate Lao Tzu, and they're pricks really, you know? Lao Tzu was making jokes at them. Lao Tzu was saying, you're all wankers, you know? And Lao Tzu basically said, fuck off. Really? Go away and learn your own shit. Leave us alone, you wankers. Some of my other art here. This is my holy grail here. This is my my few little weapons here, you know? I have other weapons, but that's kind of, you know, I call that the holy grail. It's like the medieval knights, you know, they had their little troop of players, and they'd fight each other to the death, and maybe one would have one set of tools and one would have another, and they'd play together and just kill each other, you know. And here's my version, the red pill. This is my version of Neo's thing, and it has hard discs here, and these are all hard discs that I've worn out. Basically, I've worn them out by fucking moving data. So you pricks who take an hour to fucking upload a tiny video, you can go and fuck off, like. You don't know what you're doing, you're fucking idiots. And I'm sure you don't use any of these fucking things. These are backup tapes. You do none of that fucking shit. You haven't a fucking clue what you're doing. You're fucking wankers. Do you know what I should do? I should come in with one of these fuckers. A Hussar fucking petrol bomb and blow you up. And chop your fucking legs off. And this is your fucking drug pricks, you know? You're one pill large, you're one pill small. You're fucking wankers who think that drugs will get you somewhere. You fucking idiots. You fucking idiots altogether. And here we have Barbara. Barbara looking lovely. Barbara. And this is the original Funny Girl. And we have some of my other stuff here. And this is an old character from a comic book. Judge Death. Judge Death. My name is Death. I've come to judge you. Ha 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 ha. And this little 8 here. This little 8 is my little kind of number representation for a computer system. And up the top we have the notion that all your stuff is bollocks, really. It's kind of, you know, the 1 and 0 and all that, and you're full of shite, like. And this is an old, these are old versions of PC motherboards with processors on board and stuff, and the different kind of age of things, you know, as things progressed. And here's 2 more. Here's some other ones. Here's some kind of some of the history of media from CD to tape to DAT to VHS to audio cassette to zip drive, all the fucking basics, you know, and the record and all that. And what's this? What is the record? The record, I think, is it Blue Monday? Is it? And I think this is Carpenters calling occupants of planetary craft. And here's the old fucking, you know, where is he here? Here he is. The fucking white horse, you know? The white horse of the fucking apocalypse. And his fucking army, you know? His fucking army, the Warhammer fucking army. There was a line from Warhammer, if you're close enough to read this, you're about to fucking experience a thermonuclear weapon, you prick. And these are some of my phones and stuff from time. I did this phone stuff, you know. And here's an old O1V, one of the great breakthroughs in audio. And here we have an Avid NDLA, nonlinear digital accelerator or whatever, which was a beautiful device. And I have the simpler of the of them there. What did they call them? I can't remember. And there's another Avid device. And here's some sound cards, different ones. Maybe Sound Blaster. There's one, Turtle Beach. It has a sampler on it. The 2 bits of memory there are the onboard memory for the sampler. And we have different things there, you know. And we have a dream catcher from Fiona. We have an old Sinclair ZX Spectrum, you know, beautiful machine. And here's some communication devices, kind of early RAID controllers, wireless adapters, USBs, radio, all that kind of stuff. Here's a very early PC, a very early. Where do you see the motherboard? Where do you see the processor? How do you know which one is the processor? You know? Here's a couple of modems. One is a kind of a standard modem, one is a kind of lease line, public switch telephone network. Here's some cards, some graphics cards. And my favorite one is this, the NVIDIA Quadra FX. I got my Avid to work on that, Avid Composer. I got it on eBay, I built a machine, I loved it. Building an Avid was brilliant. And just different cards and stuff. And here's a little bit in tribute to Guy McPherson, and a little history of Guy McPherson. And anthropogenic climate change, which is really early, 1847, George Perkins Marsh really started the ball rolling, and Arrhenius. And then Guy McPherson said, "You're fucked, you're at the end of your habitat, what are you gonna do?" And a bit of surfboardy stuff there. What do we have up here? We have a Sinclair QL, which was a big move with the Motorola processor. We went to, I can't remember, what was it, 16-bit or something. Beautiful machine. And they had these lovely little, they were the early drives. They had tape drives. What did they call them? I can't remember. And they were the first to give a little package of software. They gave maybe 4 bits easel. They gave a word processor, a drawing thing. They had a little suite. So they were the original Office. You got a little pack with 4 little micro drives, and he was kind of fucked up by his stupid little car, but we won't go on about that. And this is a Commodore VIC-20, one of the, at the same period. It's kind of interesting to see the Commodore VIC-20, the QL, and the Sinclair ZX Spectrum. And down here we have one of Clive's earlier boxes, which is the ZX80. Is that an 80 or an 81? That's an 80, that's a ZX80. And here we just have various forms of memory. And then when we come to the gaming stuff here, we have an Xbox and a Wii. The internals of an Xbox and a Wii, and the differences between them, like, you know, and how things changed just with interaction, like, not so much in processing power. If you look at the size of the processor on the Xbox, the big one, or the heatsink on the Wii, for a lot of people the Wii did a lot more than the Xbox because of this little controller, this little handheld controller, you know, so it's different, like. And here we have kind of some of the bits here of the tape, the actual tape, you know, the audio tape, which was really a Nazi-related invention, which would have been kind of the BASF chemical company and its relation. And back in the old days, say of the Spectrum or the Sinclair, we'd use a tape deck like this, and we'd play into it and out of it tones, a bit like the clock, and we'd interpret them. And later on we went on to this kind of thing, a hard disk. So that's a Seagate Barracuda, you know, a fairly stylish little drive. The old Seagate Barracudas were the man, you know. And this is kind of some magazine from the day, from Sinclair ZX Spectrum. And we used to do this kind of thing. We'd get the program in the magazine, and we'd type it in. character by character for the whole thing. And we might end up with a little game like down here, but we'd have fucking great fun typing it in. And you might get a character wrong and the bastard doesn't work. And you have to go back over the pages and say, fuck, what happened? And this is an old tape from Manic Miner, which would have been one of the big Sinclair ZX Spectrum games. And here's a notion of the comparison between the tape and the Seagate Barracuda. You know, the Seagate Barracuda on one side, tape on the other. Some of the stats, like. But maybe we had more fun playing fucking Manic Miner than you do now playing Xbox. And this is just from cycling up the mountain with my friend Sean. We found it in the woods, and it's nearly broken, but I keep it. Get the fuck out. Really, get the fuck out. And here we have another version of the tape, like, which was the Philips version. And whereas some of the other tape stuff would have been Nazi, some of the Philips stuff would be Jewish. And this was a Philips DCC. It was an amazing machine. If you plugged the DCC into the back of the O1V, you had a bastard of a system. You feed your analog into the O1V, you put a cable out the back, feed it into the DCC, you've got a bastard. It didn't go well though, it was very complicated. I tried to take it apart to do one simple thing and it was impossible. So it was a great idea, but a technician could do it, you know. But with a lot of these things you have to keep them going. And here is, see if I can get this into focus. It's a bit from Shakespeare's King Lear, where he faces nature, and nature always wins, you know. No matter how mad Lear was, nature would always win. Blow winds, crack your hurricanes, all that bullshit, like. And I wrote a video game about that, Lear's Apocalypse, in college. And here's a few bits of old Irish artwork. The top one is kind of the what do they call it? The Tramp's Causeway, or the long road of the tramp, the eternal road of the tramp, you know. Sometimes in the country, the Tramp's Causeway or whatever, you'd find a long road, and for the tramp you could see him walking the long road, and it was kind of interesting to see the perspective of him on his own walking the long road, or from his perspective he might be looking out at the wonder of a new scene. So the perspective as to whether you're the tramp walking the long road or you're in heaven seeing marvelous things at every step. And this bottom one is wild horses, and it'd take fucking wild horses to drive me away from my home. So you can all fuck off. You can all fuck off. And up here we have a homage to America, the most destructive country ever, and their fucking bombs. And there's the notion here that you play cards with death, he holds all the fucking cards. And this is the bollocks that they tried to push on people. Jesus Charlie, you know? Oh, you can't fucking say anything. No, Jesus Charlie just says everything, you know? And we have here my old pal the Joker. And what did the Joker say? I used to think that my life was a tragedy, but now I realize it's a comedy. And here's just a little bit of abstract art. In format iron crypt, real disillus iron meant nothing, the renegade master, the bastard renegade master. And we have a few bits of lines over here. We have true, life controls your fucking heart controls your mind. It is false that your mind controls life. So fuck off with your delusional mind control. Fuck off with your lies. I'm a dealer in truth. And as the Stoics say, do not waste energy on futile externalities. Retreat from outcome, retreat from, is it mind or whatever? Yeah. And the old basic, False plus lie does not equal true. For all you delusional Google model masters, false plus lie does not fucking equal true. And we have the old adage, I am enough, I have enough, so fuck off, I don't want to buy any of your shite. I don't want to buy any of your shite. I am enough and I have enough. Fuck off, get out of my house.